All right, today what we're going to be doing is pulling the motor out of this. So it's my '07 TRX. So we're going to pull the motor, we're going to drain the radiator, all that fun stuff, and basically make way for the CRF motor. So I'll probably do a time lapse on this. We got to pull all the plastics and everything, and then from there we'll see what else we need to do. So check in and I'll update on the important parts of what to do and all that kind of stuff when time comes. So thanks for watching. All right, so we got all the plastics off, as you can see here, kind of the front end. We got the overflow bottle kind of jerry-rigged on there. All the wiring and everything, it's not super clean, but we'll clean her up first. We got all the gas tank bolts pulled, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna undo this. We're gonna drain the gas tank, just so we can pull it off. And we need to get it welded, so that's another big thing. Again, we need to, I think I'll hose this thing down when I pull the motor just so that we have a nice clean area to work on. It's much nicer working on clean stuff. And I'll work on getting it pulled. So we'll pull the tank, pull the carb in the intake, and then the rear plastic. Actually, I might pull the rear plastic first just so that everything's nice and accessible, easy to work on. And then we'll get all this wiring mess out of here. So it looks like we're at 66 hours. So 66 hours, we rebuilt this thing at about 35. So got a lot of hours on her now, actually. That's pretty impressive. So there you go. So didn't realize I had that many hours. But 66 hours since we first did the Racer's Edge thing 2 seasons ago. So about 30 hours a season. Is all this bike sees. So anyways, we'll drain the tank. We'll put the GoPro on the other side, just to give you a little different perspective, maybe a little better lighting, whatever, and we'll go from there. Thanks. Okay, update. Got all the plastics pulled, gas tank is pulled, intake is pulled. Probably need to undo the battery, do that next. And then really it's just getting all the wiring unattached from up here. Throttle cable, all that kind of jazz. And then we'll undo some of the bolts up here, make sure that all the stuff is nice and loose. Undo the engine control unit. And yeah, we'll go from there. So here's the tank. So I want to talk you through this. So I'll go get this piece over here. Here's our new bottom for it. So currently, just prop this up. So what we're gonna have to do is cut that out, weld something there, and then we're gonna weld this in like that, basically. Just into the bottom of the tank. So what that's gonna do is allow the fuel pump from the CRF to bolt in, get rid of this petcock area, basically render this useless, but you can see I did heat tape everywhere, so that might be a pain for the fabricator, but we'll see. I just wanted to make sure that the fuel was running cool, because we read out in the dunes and the heat, so I want to make sure that boiling and that kind of stuff, especially if you're running oxygenated race fuel, it's not as much of an option. Again, we're gonna hose all this down once we get the motor out, all the battery and everything. All the electronics are going, so once we do all that, it's kind of a package deal. It'll be pretty easy. I'm gonna take the exhaust off next, I think. So exhaust, battery, all the wires, We'll take this little petcock off because we need to basically just kind of mock it up. And I'm hoping this fabricator that I take this to is gonna know what to do, and I'm sure he will. I hear good things. So anyways, I will put it on time lapse again and follow up when I think there's something interesting, but really it's just kind of disassembly. It's going really well. This is way easier to disassemble than that dirt bike because I didn't know anything about the dirt bike, so it's going way quicker. All those parts over there, all these little parts, all these little bolts, all the electronics. This bike has none of that, so it's much simpler. Intake's over there. And yeah, then I'll have 2 rolling chassis in here and we'll get to work. So thanks. Alrighty, so I just pulled my fuel petcock, and hopefully this will kind of focus up, but you see all that sand and gunk in there. Should probably pull this more often. I ride in the dunes a lot, so there's a lot of sand, so fuel filters are very important. You want to make sure that you have good clean fuel going in. You don't ruin your engine. These screens work really well, it looks like. You can see all that sand stuck around there, so it's sealed up really well. Hopefully nothing got through. But again, just cleaning this up. So, let's see some kind of gunk there. We'll clean this tank out. And then this little thing will go right in there. Bam, just like that. Nice and easy. And it's threaded on one side but not on the other, so it's pretty cool. So they're gonna have to cut a hole. They're gonna have to cut this out, so we'll see how they make it work. But yeah, be interested to see the fabricator do his work. So thanks. All right, update on the bike. Got the carb pulled, hoses off, most of the engine bolts off. I need to take the sprocket cover. Right now I'm gonna loosen the swing arm so that I can get the chain off. And then I need to take the brake lever off so that I can get to the sprocket, or the other swing arm pivot bolt. It's a titanium one from, who's it from? I don't know, the people that make titanium, it's Forworks. So, as you can see, there's some dirty, nasty stuff everywhere, but we're working on that. And honestly, it's pretty much almost out. We got the top mounts off, bottom mounts out. That mount is the only one holding it on along the swing arm. So we're getting really close here. I'm really excited. We'll get the fan off as well. And then pull all the wires out. We're getting really close, so stay tuned. All right, so we finally got the Swingarm pivot bolt out. That is a bear. I had to hammer it out, actually. You can see that in the whatever you call it. I'm exhausted now. Time lapse. So now we got these wires. I'm gonna pull them up through. I just unbolted the top clamps. We'll unbolt the bottom ones after we get that bolt out. The bottom engine bolt's already out. It's actually sitting on the frame already, looks like. So this thing is about ready to come out. All we have to do is get some wires through there. Need to undo the start button and fish that through. And then I need to figure out the clutch as well. So I'll probably have to take that little clutch thing off, get the cable out. And yeah, keep following along. Thanks.